Ladies and gentlemen, we often marvel at the seemingly effortless brilliance of those gifted with talent. The painter whose brush dances on the canvas, the athlete who moves as if born to defy gravity, or the prodigy whose fingers glide across piano keys. Talent is dazzling. It captures our imagination and makes us believe in something innate, something divine. But if we look closely, we see another story, one less glamorous, yet infinitely more profound. It is the story of discipline. Discipline, the unassuming force that turns potential into mastery. Discipline, the quiet companion that trudges along when talent falters or loses interest. Talent is often celebrated as the golden ticket, the thing that propels people towards success with seemingly little effort. It's the raw ability that others admire and wish they possessed. We tend to think that if someone is talented, they are automatically destined for greatness, that the journey will be easier for them, and their potential is guaranteed to be realized. But the truth is far more nuanced. Talent is merely the starting point, not the destination. Imagine talent as the spark, the initial burst of energy that ignites the fire of possibility. A person may have an innate gift, whether it's a natural flair for music, a sharp intellect, or a physical ability that sets them apart. This gift is a wonderful thing, and it can open doors, give them opportunities, and offer a sense of promise. However, that spark is just the beginning. Without the right conditions and effort, that spark will fizzle out. Talent does not guarantee success, it merely provides a head start. When we look at the world's most successful individuals, we often find that talent was just one small factor in their path. What distinguishes them is their relentless commitment to developing that talent. They have worked tirelessly to refine their skills, to push through periods of frustration, and to confront failure. The fact is, talent alone will never sustain you. It may open the door, but it's discipline and perseverance that will ensure you walk through it and reach the other side. I think about the world's greatest athletes. Many of them started with immense natural ability, whether it was speed, strength, or agility. Yet, despite their gifts, they still dedicated countless hours to practice, conditioning, and refining their craft. The difference between them and someone with a similar talent who doesn't make it is the decision to continue to work even when it feels impossible. Talent might make the journey more enjoyable at first, but it is discipline that takes you further. Consider the realm of music. It's often said that a talented musician can pick up an instrument and sound amazing within a short time. But how many of these prodigies continue to play without the discipline to practice and grow? Talent without discipline stagnates. The musicians who reach their full potential are the ones who understand that practice, dedication, and learning are what will push them to new heights. They don't simply rely on their natural ability, they know that mastery is a lifelong process. The same applies to fields beyond the arts and sports, whether in business, writing, technology, or science. Talented individuals may start with a creative idea, a unique approach, or an exceptional insight. But if they don't put in the consistent work required to turn that idea into something tangible, their talent will remain dormant. It's discipline that turns raw potential into real achievement. Success is not guaranteed for anyone, no matter how gifted they are. What separates those who make it from those who don't is the willingness to keep going when the excitement of talent fades away. Our talent is also fleeting. It's easy to become complacent when things come easily, to believe that skill is innate and doesn't require further effort. But talent can plateau. Without discipline, it's easy to lose momentum. Natural gifts may give you an edge early on, but they won't protect you from the reality that success requires continued hard work, adaptation, and resilience. In essence, talent is a foundation. but it's discipline that builds upon it. A strong foundation is essential, but it's the structure you build on top of it that will determine the height and durability of your success. If you rely solely on talent, you might reach a certain level, but it will be limited. If you combine that talent with the unshakable foundation of discipline, you unlock the potential for growth that lasts far beyond the initial spark. We all know that we are capable of so much more than we realize. Whether or not we are born with exceptional talent is beside the point. What matters is our willingness to nurture our abilities and work toward our goals with commitment and consistency. Talent may get you noticed, but discipline is what will carry you to places you never thought possible. Ultimately, it is not talent that determines how far you go, it's the work you put in, day after day, that shapes your journey and leads to true success. Resilience is often regarded as one of the most powerful qualities a person can possess. It is the ability to bounce back from failure, to endure hardship, and to keep moving forward despite the odds. It's a characteristic that can't be easily measured or seen at first glance, but it's what separates those who ultimately succeed from those who give up when things get tough. Resilience is not something that is simply given to us, it's something we build through consistent effort and a disciplined approach to life. At its core, discipline is the foundation of resilience. Discipline trains us to endure the hard times, to push through discomfort, and to continue even when we're met with resistance. When we commit ourselves to a set of practices, whether it's in our personal lives, our careers, or our creative pursuits, we develop the mental fortitude required to keep going, even when everything inside of us tells us to stop. Discipline teaches us that failure is not the end, it's just a moment in time. When we're disciplined in our approach, we understand that setbacks are not signs of our inadequacy, but opportunities for growth. If we give up after every failure, we'll never have the chance to build the resilience that comes from perseverance. But if we use those failures as stepping stones and keep going, discipline strengthens our resolve, and we learn to bounce back stronger each time. This is the essence of resilience, our ability to stand up again after we've been knocked down, and to do so with a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Consider the athlete who trains for months, pushing through pain, fatigue, and the constant temptation to rest. The process is grueling, and there are times when quitting seems like the easiest option. Yet, each time the athlete chooses to push through, they are not just strengthening their physical body, they are building resilience in their mind. They learn to tolerate discomfort, to move beyond their limits, and to keep going when things feel impossible. Discipline creates a habit of showing up every day, regardless of how challenging it might seem. And over time, this mental and physical conditioning leads to remarkable resilience. Resilience is also built through the small, everyday acts of discipline. It's not just about overcoming major obstacles, but about how we approach the minor, everyday challenges that life throws our way. Every time we follow through on a commitment, whether it's waking up early, completing a task we're not excited about, or resisting the urge to procrastinate, we build a layer of resilience. These acts may seem insignificant in the moment, but they compound over time. Every time we choose discipline over convenience, we train ourselves to handle bigger obstacles with more confidence and more calm. Discipline also helps us maintain focus when life becomes chaotic. In the face of challenges, it's easy to lose sight of our goals, to get distracted by obstacles, or to let negative emotions take over. But a disciplined mindset allows us to remain anchored. It helps us stay focused on what matters, even when we feel overwhelmed or discouraged. Rather than reacting to adversity with panic or fear, discipline gives us the clarity and stability to make thoughtful decisions and to move forward strategically. This is a key part of resilience, the ability to stay calm, centered, and clear-headed in the face of adversity. Moreover, discipline allows us to break down large, seemingly insurmountable challenges into smaller, manageable steps. When we approach life's difficulties with a disciplined attitude, we don't try to solve everything at once. Instead, we focus on what we can control in the present moment, taking consistent, intentional action toward our goals. This prevents us from feeling paralyzed by the enormity of a task, as we understand that we don't have to tackle it all in one go. We build resilience by recognizing that challenges are best faced one step at a time, and that every small effort counts. But perhaps one of the most significant ways discipline builds resilience is by teaching us to embrace discomfort. In life, growth doesn't happen in our comfort zones. It happens when we push ourselves beyond what feels safe and familiar. Discipline encourages us to step outside of our comfort zones regularly, whether it's by tackling difficult projects, setting higher standards for ourselves, or challenging our limits. Each time we do this, we grow a little stronger and a little more resilient. We begin to see discomfort not as something to avoid, but as a sign that we are growing, that we are becoming more capable, and that we are building the mental strength required to handle whatever life throws our way. It's easy to think of resilience as a trait, that people are born with something that's either in your nature or it's not. But resilience is, in fact, a skill that can be cultivated and strengthened over time. It's something that is built through consistent, disciplined actions and choices. Every time we choose to persist, to push through the discomfort, and to keep going despite the challenges, we reinforce the mental muscles of resilience. In the end, discipline doesn't just make us more productive or efficient, it makes us stronger. It creates a mindset that thrives in the face of adversity and turns obstacles into opportunities. When we commit to disciplined actions, we develop the inner fortitude to face life's most difficult challenges, bounce back from failure, and continue moving forward with renewed determination. Discipline, at its heart, is the key to resilience. It's the tool that helps us endure, overcome, and grow, no matter what life may throw our way. In a world that often celebrates raw talent, the true secret to success lies in something far more attainable: habits. Natural ability can provide an initial advantage, but it is the habits we form that determine how far we go. Talented individuals may capture our attention because of their inherent gifts, but it is the disciplined, consistent actions of those who cultivate good habits that sustain and elevate their success over time. At the surface, it seems logical that being naturally gifted would guarantee success. After all, talent can open doors and create opportunities. A person who is naturally good at something, whether it's writing, sports, mathematics, or any other skill, can often perform well with minimal effort compared to others. But talent alone is not a guarantee of long-term achievement. In fact, relying solely on talent can become a double-edged sword. When you're naturally good at something, there's often a temptation to coast on that ability without putting in the necessary work to improve and refine it. This can lead to stagnation, as the lack of a structured, disciplined approach prevents growth. Over time, someone who relies on talent without nurturing good habits may find themselves passed by someone who, though perhaps less naturally gifted, is putting in the consistent effort to get better every day. This is where habits come into play. Habits are the small, daily actions that accumulate over time and have the power to create significant change. These actions are not dependent on talent or initial ability, they are simply the result of choices we make each day. When we establish habits that support our goals, we develop a steady, reliable process for improvement. Unlike raw talent, which can fluctuate or fade, habits are repeatable, sustainable, and within our control. The beauty of habits lies in their consistency. Natural ability can fluctuate with mood, energy levels, or circumstances, but habits, when ingrained, become automatic. A person who makes a habit of practicing a skill every day, even for just a short period of time, will improve far more reliably than someone who only practices when they feel inspired or motivated. In fact, motivation alone is often unreliable. It comes and goes. But discipline through the establishment of good habits allows us to push forward even when motivation fades. For example, consider the process of learning a new language. A person who is naturally gifted with languages might pick up vocabulary and grammar rules faster than someone else. However, without the habit of consistent practice, they will soon plateau. On the other hand, someone with less innate talent but a disciplined routine of daily practice speaking, listening, reading, and writing will inevitably surpass the person relying on raw ability alone. Habits enable them to create continuous, incremental progress. This daily commitment forms the bedrock of their success. Over time, what might have felt difficult becomes second nature. The natural ability is important, but it's the daily habit of practicing and improving that leads to mastery. Habits also provide the structure we need to overcome setbacks. When we encounter obstacles or moments of failure, it's easy to become disheartened and lose sight of our goals. Talent may give us the initial belief that success will come easily, but setbacks will quickly test that belief. It's during these moments that our habits take over. They become the force that carries us forward when we lose our motivation, when we feel like giving up. The person who has established the habit of continuing, even when things go wrong, will eventually push through the challenges and reach their goals. Moreover, habits create resilience. When we establish positive routines, we develop the ability to deal with adversity. Resilience is built through repetition and consistency, whether it's dealing with the ups and downs of a career, working through personal challenges, or overcoming failure. By developing a habit of persistence, we train ourselves to remain steady even in turbulent times. The person who practices every day, who shows up no matter the circumstances, builds a mental and emotional fortitude that surpasses the abilities of those who rely solely on talent. Look at the great success stories in history, and you will find that many of them were not driven by individuals with exceptional talent, but rather by individuals with exceptional work ethics and disciplined habits. Take the example of Thomas Edison, often hailed as one of the greatest inventors of all time. Edison's genius wasn't simply in his raw intellectual ability. Many of his contemporaries were equally talented. What set him apart was his habit of relentless experimentation. He was known for his tireless work ethic, putting in long hours and failing repeatedly, only to keep going. His success wasn't based on a flash of brilliance, it was the result of years of experimentation, mistakes, and perseverance. Similarly, in the realm of sports, while there are certainly athletes who possess extraordinary natural abilities, the ones who often rise to the top are those who combine their gifts with hard work and disciplined training. Michael Jordan, often considered one of the greatest basketball players of all time, famously said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." His natural talent was undeniable, but his commitment to constant practice, discipline, and learning from failure is what propelled him to greatness. Habits also offer the advantage of scalability. It's one thing to excel at a task when you're gifted, but it's another to sustain that success over time or across multiple challenges. A talented individual may excel in one specific area, but someone with the habit of continual improvement can apply their discipline across many areas. Habits allow us to grow, adapt, and succeed in the face of new challenges. The person who is committed to building their habits will naturally adapt to changing circumstances and continue to improve, while someone who relies on talent may struggle to maintain their success as the environment evolves. At the end of the day, talent can give you an edge, but it is habits that will take you across the finish line. The disciplined person understands that success is not a matter of being born with an innate skill. It's about what you do with the gifts you've been given. Talent may open the door, but habits keep it open, and they are what allow us to walk through that door time and time again. Habits, when cultivated with patience and persistence, can ultimately outperform even the most exceptional natural ability. In the journey toward success, there's one factor that stands out as a common thread among those who achieve greatness: consistency. Talent can spark an early success, and passion can fuel motivation. But it is consistency that is the true secret weapon for long-term achievement. Consistency is the quiet, relentless force that drives progress. Even when the path becomes difficult, the excitement fades, or the results seem far off. It's the force that separates the dreamers from the doers, the successful from the unsuccessful. What makes consistency so powerful is its ability to compound. When we engage in any activity consistently, whether it's learning a new skill, working toward a goal, or pursuing personal growth, the effects accumulate over time. Small daily actions, when repeated, lead to exponential results. The difference between someone who reaches their goals and someone who doesn't often comes down to how consistently they show up, put in the work, and stay committed to their process. Consider the process of building muscle. It's not about doing 100 push-ups in one day and expecting to be in peak physical condition. The results come from showing up every day and putting in the work, even when the progress is slow or hard to see. It's the consistency of your effort day after day that creates lasting transformation. Over time, that seemingly small effort builds, strengthens, and compounds, leading to significant results. Without consistency, even the best workouts or most intense efforts will amount to nothing. This principle applies to almost everything we want to achieve in life. Whether you're an aspiring writer, an entrepreneur, or someone looking to improve your health, it's not the occasional bursts of effort that lead to success, it's the small, deliberate steps taken consistently over time. Writing a novel isn't about waiting for inspiration to strike, it's about writing a little bit each day, regardless of how you feel, until you have something that resembles a finished product. Building a business isn't about one groundbreaking idea or the perfect product. It's about showing up each day, making incremental improvements, learning from mistakes, and continuously moving toward your goals. One of the most powerful aspects of consistency is its ability to build momentum. At first, the effort may feel like you're pushing a boulder up a hill. The results are slow, and the process feels tedious. But once that momentum is established, things start to shift. The energy you've put into your work begins to propel you forward, and tasks that once felt overwhelming now feel more manageable. The momentum created by consistency makes challenges feel less daunting and helps you push through difficult times. It's in these moments when consistency becomes invaluable. It's the fuel that keeps you moving when motivation wanes or obstacles arise. I think about the most successful people you know, whether they are in business, sports, or the arts. What you'll often find is that their success is not a product of one moment of brilliance, but the result of consistent effort over an extended period of time. Take a successful entrepreneur, for instance. The person who achieves long-term business success is rarely the one who stumbles upon a genius idea overnight. Instead, it's the person who continually tests, refines, learns, and adapts their product, constantly seeking improvement with unwavering consistency. They show up every day, despite setbacks, disappointments, and occasional failures. They don't rely on bursts of enthusiasm or waiting for the perfect moment. They trust that the steady, daily grind will yield results. Consistency also plays a key role in building confidence. When we commit to showing up consistently, we begin to see that our efforts are not in vain. Each small step we take, each time we complete a task, no matter how minor it seems, adds to our sense of accomplishment. Over time, this builds self-assurance. The act of consistency, of repeatedly doing something even when it feels difficult or unrewarding, creates a foundation of trust in ourselves and our abilities. When we make a commitment to something and honor that commitment consistently, we learn that we can count on ourselves. This confidence, built over time, makes future challenges easier to face because we know that we have the strength and perseverance to continue, no matter what. Moreover, consistency breeds discipline. It teaches us how to stay focused on the process rather than the end goal. When we commit to something with consistency, we learn that success is not an instant event, but a long-term process. We understand that the results will come, but only after we've done the work, day after day, month after month, and year after year. This understanding allows us to embrace the journey, knowing that each small effort is part of a larger, meaningful picture. Consistency also helps us to stay disciplined in the face of distractions. In today's fast-paced world, we're constantly bombarded by information, notifications, and temptations to procrastinate or take shortcuts. It's easy to become distracted or discouraged when the immediate results aren't visible. However, consistency helps us to stay focused on the long-term goal. It trains us to disregard the noise and concentrate on what truly matters. By showing up every day, doing the work regardless of how we feel, we build the ability to resist distractions and stay on course. Another crucial aspect of consistency is its ability to build resilience. As you remain consistent in your efforts, you inevitably face obstacles and setbacks. But because you are committed to the process, you learn to push through these challenges. You realize that the road to success is rarely straight or smooth, but that resilience built through consistent action is what will help you navigate the bumps and detours. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen your resilience and fortify your resolve. With consistency, you begin to see obstacles not as barriers, but as opportunities for growth and learning. In the end, consistency is the great equalizer. Talent may give you an initial advantage, but it's consistency that will carry you to the finish line. When talent fades, when motivation falters, and when the road gets tough, consistency remains. It doesn't matter how gifted or fortunate you are if you aren't consistent. It's the steady, persistent efforts you make over time that will lead to the greatest rewards. Consistency, as simple as it sounds, is the secret weapon that, when applied with patience and discipline, can help you achieve anything you set your mind to. It's the key to turning dreams into reality, ideas into action, and potential into tangible success. The notion that talent is an innate gift, a rare and extraordinary quality that some people are simply born with, is deeply ingrained in our society. We often look at someone who excels in a particular area and attribute their success to natural talent. Whether it's a gifted athlete, a brilliant musician, or a top-tier entrepreneur, the assumption is that they have some special ability that others do not. While there's no denying that some individuals are born with certain predispositions, the real truth is that discipline has the power to create its own talent. Discipline is the engine that turns raw potential into greatness. It is not the starting point that sets one person apart from another, but the commitment to growth, consistent effort, and a willingness to push past limitations that truly define success. Over time, discipline transforms what may have initially seemed like a mere interest or inclination into a well-honed skill that rivals and often surpasses the abilities of those who may have been born with a certain advantage. When we talk about creating talent, We're referring to the process of taking a natural interest or budding ability and nurturing it through consistent practice, focused effort, and persistence. Talent, in this sense, is not something you're born with, but something you cultivate over time. It's the result of years of practice, the development of good habits, and the commitment to improvement, even when the results aren't immediately visible. It is discipline that shapes your abilities into something extraordinary. For example, consider the journey of an athlete. While some people may have a natural gift for speed or strength, it is the disciplined routine of training that truly creates excellence. Early in an athlete's career, they may not have the skill, coordination, or experience that more seasoned athletes possess. But through hours of focused practice, repetitive drills, and continuous refinement, they develop not only physical strength but mental toughness as well. Their talent is created through the relentless application of discipline to every aspect of their training. The more they push themselves, the more their abilities grow and evolve until what once seemed like a natural gift becomes the result of years of disciplined effort. In the world of music, discipline is just as crucial. A musician who is passionate about their instrument may have an innate ability to understand rhythm or tone. However, the creation of true musical talent comes from the countless hours of practice, the repetition of scales, the learning of complex pieces, and the unwavering pursuit of mastery. Talent may be the starting point, but it is the discipline to continue practicing, to push through difficult moments, and to constantly seek improvement that cultivates real expertise. Even in fields that don't require physical skill, such as writing or art, discipline plays a central role. A writer who wants to improve their craft doesn't simply wait for inspiration to strike. They create talent by writing regularly, by learning from feedback, and by continuously refining their techniques. The writer who is disciplined enough to sit at their desk every day, to write through the challenges of self-doubt or fatigue, develops the kind of creative talent that others might envy. It is the habit of writing, the commitment to the process, that turns a novice into an expert. It's important to recognize that discipline is not about forcing talent out of thin air, nor is it about rigidly following a set of rules. Discipline, in its most effective form, is about building a foundation of consistent habits, setting clear goals, and maintaining the perseverance to keep going, even when it seems like progress is slow. Talent can only truly flourish in an environment where discipline has been nurtured. It's the framework that supports growth, providing the structure within which potential can evolve into something exceptional. One of the key aspects of discipline is the ability to embrace failure and mistakes as part of the learning process. Natural talent may seem like a gift that is immune to setbacks, but the reality is that talent without the discipline to face and learn from failure often leads to stagnation. A talented individual who lacks the discipline to keep pushing forward through challenges may eventually find their progress plateauing. On the other hand, someone with less innate ability but a strong sense of discipline will use failures as stepping stones, learning from each misstep and becoming better as a result. Discipline allows us to develop resilience, and it's this resilience that ultimately transforms raw talent into expertise. Moreover, discipline fosters the ability to focus. In a world full of distractions, one of the greatest challenges to achieving success is the ability to stay committed to the task at hand. Talent can only shine when it's honed in an environment of focus and intention. A person with discipline understands that distractions are part of life but chooses not to be swayed by them. They understand that results come not from bursts of effort but from the steady, deliberate actions taken every day. By creating the habit of focus, discipline allows a person to immerse themselves in their craft, to go deep, and to make meaningful progress toward mastery. Discipline also builds the ability to innovate. When a person has developed deep expertise in a particular area through disciplined practice, they gain the confidence to push boundaries and explore new possibilities. Talent on its own can sometimes be limited by its inherent nature, but discipline allows individuals to expand their abilities and unlock new levels of creativity and problem solving. It's the discipline to experiment, to try new approaches, and to continue learning that creates breakthrough moments and original ideas. One of the most powerful outcomes of discipline is that it doesn't just create talent, it creates a cycle of continuous improvement. The more disciplined you are in your practice, the better you get, and the better you get, the more you are motivated to continue practicing. This virtuous cycle propels you forward and deepens your abilities in ways that mere natural talent cannot. The consistency of effort and the commitment to growth turn what might have been a fleeting interest into a lifelong pursuit of excellence. Talent, in this sense, is not a fixed attribute, it's a dynamic process that can be cultivated and developed. A person who may start with limited skill or ability, but who approaches their goals with discipline, will eventually surpass others who rely solely on their innate gifts. Discipline, at its core, creates its own talent. It transforms potential into performance, takes skill and refines it into mastery, and turns effort into expertise. The more disciplined you are in your pursuit of growth, the more you build the kind of talent that cannot be taken away. Talent might open the door, but it is discipline that allows you to walk through it and keep walking. Through the consistent application of effort and focus, you create a level of talent that is born from dedication, persistence, and an unwavering commitment to your craft. Ultimately, it is not talent that defines success, it is the discipline to keep going, to keep improving, and to keep creating greatness within yourself. In conclusion, let us remember that talent may open the door, but it is discipline that keeps it open and allows us to walk through it step by step. Discipline is the force that transforms potential into achievement, interest into expertise, and dreams into reality. It is the quiet power that works in the background, turning consistent effort into extraordinary success. So whether you are just beginning your journey or striving to reach the next level, know this: your talent is not defined by your starting point, but by the discipline with which you choose to nurture it. Commit to the process, stay consistent, and trust that discipline will shape you into the person you aspire to be. Remember, greatness is not reserved for the talented alone. It's built by those who are willing to show up day after day and do the work. Thank you.